Hi, this is Free Media Live, and we're going to discuss the latest report that is showing up on Yahoo News. It's a ABC News report about Ron Paul, and the headline is Ron Paul spent $1 million on charter flights. So you say $1 million, wow. $1 million of the taxpayers' money Ron Paul has spent to fly across the country. Isn't that's really awful? To take $1 million of taxpayers' money and to use it to fly all across the country at the taxpayers' expense. So hold on a minute. How is it that Ron Paul spent $1 million flying around the country at the taxpayers' expense? Is that really what happened? Well, you might think so. The headline says, Ron Paul spent $1 million on charter flights. Doesn't say where the $1 million came from. It just says he spent $1 million on charter flights. Well, the fact is, the money came from his campaign contributions, not from the taxpayer. His contributors are funding his campaign just like they're funding his flights across the country. Doesn't he have a right to spend his campaign contributions as he sees fit? If his supporters are unhappy with his spending on flights across the country to go to campaign events, I think they will let him know. But ABC News and Yahoo, they would rather just put a headline up there and say Ron Paul spent $1 million on charter flights. According to the article, it's ABC News and the Center for Responsive Politics. They've calculated that he's released a tax plan cutting $1 trillion from the federal budget. It's strange. It says, what does it have to do with anything? It says ABC News and the Center for Responsive Politics have crunched the numbers, and you might be surprised to know that the U.S. Congressman that just recently released a tax plan cutting $1 trillion from the budget has spent close to $1 million on charter flights. Doesn't have anything to do with each other. The $1 trillion from the budget, that's taxpayer funds. The $1 million on charter flights, that's private funds that people have voluntarily contributed to his campaign. And so they're trying to compare taxpayer funds to private funds. They don't like to cover Ron Paul. He recently won the Ohio straw poll, the GOP straw poll. He won it something like over 55%, but you would hardly know it from looking anywhere in the media, online or on TV or in the local newspaper. It was virtually no coverage. And the same when he won the California straw poll, very little, if any, coverage. And the same thing when he won the Value Voters straw poll. But they don't have any problem putting a headline, Ron Paul spent $1 million on charter flights. Doesn't spending $1 million on charter flights from private contributors, doesn't that, quote, contribute to stimulating the economy? When Ron Paul's campaign spends money, that's helping the economy. People voluntarily contributed, and it's a lot of jobs that must be funded through all the contributions and the money that Ron Paul is spending on his campaign. I mean, what do they want him to do? Do they want him to take a bus around or or he has to fly a commercial flight because even though he's going to miss his votes back in Washington, all the other campaigns, most of them don't have to even go back to Washington to vote on anything because they're not in office. They don't hold any federal office right now. I don't think any of the candidates, none of the official candidates, hold any elected office. He's a elected representative of Congress, and they're objecting to him spending money on charter flights back and forth from his campaign stops to Washington. So the whole report is ridiculous and symptomatic of the coverage of Ron Paul. That's it for today.